Welcome back. This short video is going to take you through the modes of delivery. You can refer to the Blueprint Training Manual for the Delivery Cluster for more information about modes of delivery and also methods of delivery. At any time through this video, you might like to pause the video to take notes. Also remember that you can re-watch this video as many times as you like. The mode of delivery is an important consideration when designing training activities to ensure students are supported throughout the learning journey. Remember, training packages do not provide any advice on how to deliver the training. You and your colleagues in your RTO must decide on the best way to deliver your training. And as part of our delivery goals, we want to be able to engage our learners. So the environment that we create for the learning will influence our ability to engage our learners. One element of creating this environment is the mode of delivery. Consider the needs of the learners. Learners feel comfortable when we as the educators can show respect to the students. When we recognise their future potential, we value their current skills, we engage our learners in regular and routine conversations, and we listen to their needs. In the early 2000s, the Queensland Government developed the Queensland Inclusive Learning Framework. And within this framework, they outlined that the way individuals approach activities and each other is shaped by many factors. We all do things differently. An inclusive VET system is supportive and tailored, and one where all learners are valued and respected for their differences as they develop new skills. Ideally, you will select the most appropriate mode of delivery for each activity based on what will best support student development and will ensure the students are engaged in the learning. Training and learning activities will need to be different and designed separately depending on the mode of delivery. Where will the delivery take place? And educational experts have provided this learning pyramid. Gives us an insight into some of the barriers to learning. For instance, the information that is given in a lecture is only retained 5% of the information. When we read information in a book, we take on board about 10% of the information. If we are given the opportunity to practice the skills by doing, then we learn about 75%. And if we have the opportunity to teach others the skill, then we take on board about 90% of the information. So therefore, when you're planning for your delivery, every type of mode will be different. Training face-to-face in a classroom requires different training, planning to learning activities delivered online, and again will be different to the training delivered one-on-one or in small groups in the workplace. So we have more terminology. that gives us an indication of what the mode of delivery will be. This terminology includes work-based learning, classroom-based learning, discovery-based learning, self-paced learning, online learning, problem-based learning, flipped learning, action learning, mentoring, coaching, distance learning, and hands-on learning. These are all terms that describe the mode of delivery. Think about the traditional classroom. Do you have students sitting at desks in rows? Have you set up a U-shape for more collaborative learning? Do you have a whiteboard and a data projector at the front of the room? Do you have computers in the classroom? Your delivery mode may be a lecture hall, where you are presenting to a group of people. The delivery mode may be a small group environment. Our delivery modes might be online or self-paced learning. We can have instructor-led delivery and problem-based learning. And of course, we can have learning delivered in the workplace, where the mode of delivery is work-based learning. Of course, training is an essential component of onboarding and retention of staff to any enterprise. Training that is work-based is essential to develop and maintain a skilled workforce. And this can be enhanced through partnerships between employers and training organisations. The mode of delivery will be shaped by the needs of the learners. In recent years, we've heard more about other modes of delivery as well. And these include flipped learning, when the learners do the reading or research prior to coming into the classroom, and then classroom time is devoted to discussion and activities led by the learners. You may have heard of problem-based learning, where you present students with a problem rather than a solution, and then they work in groups to find the solution. And of course, we have work-based learning. Work-based learning for apprenticeships has been around for thousands of years. And if we put this all together, we call it blended learning. Blended learning is where you have several modes of delivery together. So what mode suits you? We all have a preferred way of learning. Sometimes it depends on the needs of our learners, and it depends on our needs as a learner. Do we want to develop a skill just in time? Do we want to be with other learners? Do we want the flexibility of doing study in my own time? It's important to remember that what works for one person may not work for another. How often have you listened to a student say, "I don't learn like that"? But there are other things that we need to take into consideration. When planning your mode of delivery, you need to think about the safety considerations. We must ensure that all training is delivered in a safe environment. we need to consider the resources and equipment that need to be used. Will the learners have access to everything required to complete the learning activities? And of course, we must consider the cost of the delivery mode. We need to consider the ease of access for learners, both logistically and physically. Can the students get to the venue? Is there car parking? Are there buses? Is there public transport? Is there wheelchair access? We need to think about the numbers. How many learners will be in the room? And of course, we need to think about the setup. What's going to work for you as the facilitator and for the students as learners? If we're in a classroom, how will we set up the desks? And of course, we need to think about the practicality. Thinking about workplace delivery, do we have access to the equipment? Is there going to be downtime? Will there be interruptions to the normal workflow? Sometimes you won't have a choice. You will be recruited to deliver training and the mode of delivery is already set for you. However, if you have the opportunity to work on a new project and have input into the planning, here are questions to consider to help you select the best mode of delivery. Who will be attending the training? What do we want to achieve? Why do the participants need the training? And what training activities are involved? What equipment and resources are required? Where is the best place for this training? Is it in the classroom? Is it online? Is it in the workplace? And what's the budget? How much will it cost for the venue, for the equipment, for the resources? And when will the training happen? Think about the training schedule, the time required, the time constraints of the participants. Don't forget, we won't always be able to create the perfect learning environment for every student. However, good planning, trialling, and active participation all lead to more engaged learning opportunities. So we have discussed modes of delivery. Remember, modes of delivery refer to how the training or learning will be delivered. Classroom, workplace, blended, flipped learning, etc. We also have the methods of delivery. The methods of delivery are the strategies and activities we will use to facilitate the learning. And examples of common delivery methods include lectures and presentations, group discussions, brainstorming, demonstrations and modelling, field trips and worksite visits, role plays, case studies, decision lines, structured exercises, and icebreakers. So how do we put it all together? Remember, consider the needs of your learners. Think about the resources and equipment required. Think about how you will be delivering the learning, the methods, and then consider the best mode to do this in. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn." When you're planning for your mode of delivery, remember these words from Benjamin Franklin. ensure that you create a mode of delivery that's going to engage your learners. Thanks for taking the time to watch our Blueprint series of tutorials on Whiteboard Explainers. Don't forget, you have the Delivery Cluster Training Manual to refer to as well. These will all help you with your course. And of course, the trainers at Blueprint are here to help as well. Thank you.